Good afternoon, good evening, Facebook. As you can see from the card, it's Tuesday, it's 5 p.m. in the UK and 12 p.m. Eastern, and it's time for, as I take the card off the screen, Tina and I, we actually have sort of part of an agenda today. Hello, Tina, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm going to share our post out to a couple of places since we can't automate it now.
Well, that's the thing. Automation is one of our topics for the day, and I'm going to try and get it. I've got it showing on screen now. As Tina said, she's actually sharing the show out manually at the moment. We used to use BLIFbot. I say used to because BLIFbot is magical. It will take your original broadcast as soon as you go live. It will post it wherever you want it to go, and it will go to pages, it will go to groups, it will go to profiles automatically as soon as you go live. However, Adair, a good friend of ours and fellow BLIFbot team member, was sent to Facebook jail, and she was stopped from broadcasting in or posting in Messenger in Facebook groups for some days, and that led to a problem because Adair is actually one of the moderators of the BLIFers group, so we had to post on her behalf, and it's very difficult to say, but what she did see was that all the posts that BLIFbot had shared into groups were the cause of her being suspended. So on our part,
and those videos were deleted.
Yeah, that's it, because they were the source of the sharing. And we say hello to Maria, and we look forward to Maria joining us on screen shortly. And say hello to John. And yeah, I mean, basically, we're getting the message now that automation on Facebook sucks. If you're using automation to actually post, then you are quite possibly going to be stamped upon by Facebook, and they will say, no, you can't do that. Now, the attitude that we've taken rather than that is that I have shared this show 5 minutes before we went live, be live in 5, and Tina shares it as we've gone live. So we're getting the same reach, we're getting the same sharing, but we don't run any risk, fingers crossed, of Facebook turning around and saying, you know, you're automated, we can't allow that. And it's a shame, isn't it?
It is, and I don't really understand the reasoning behind it, other than, you know, the recent algorithm tweak says that Facebook wants us to have meaningful conversation. And so maybe in their mindset and in their algorithm changes, if you're automating and pushing things out to 50 groups, how can you have meaningful conversation in 50 places?
So yeah. My only wish is that they would actually tell us, because if they told us, then we wouldn't find out. Just tell us.
I know I can't bring a gun to school, so I don't, right? But we don't know exactly what we can bring.
Yeah, tell us what we shouldn't be doing. I mean, we're all for conversation, and say hello to
I would
Don.
like a meaningful conversation with Facebook about its algorithm and what it wants from me. That's what I would really like.
You and me both, and we could get a queue of people behind us waiting to ask their questions too. As we say hello to Don, and Don saying, hi, Steve and Tina. I love the clarity of the stream. What cameras do you use? I'm from Kampala, Uganda, East Africa. Well, Tina, would you like to go first?
I think we use the same camera.
We do. Yes, shall we say it together?
Sure.
C9.
C920. Yes, Logitech.
It's a C920. It's used by over 90% of the live broadcasters that we know. It's available from Amazon, and in the US it costs about $60. In the UK it costs £60. And I got mine about 15 months ago. Can't live without it now because it does give the quality you're looking for. So in answer to your question, Don, the C920. Yeah, so we're not going to automate. We're going to share manually Oh, right. And John.
I don't even have to see the rest of the comment.
No. You've got more chance of winning the lottery than getting secrets out of Facebook. That's possibly true. You can say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Well, we don't even want the secrets. Understand them keeping close to cuff how, the metrics that they use for their algorithm and how they do things. So I don't need to know that. I just need to know, with some clarity, some basic do's and don'ts. And we get that, for example, with Facebook ads, there's some pretty robust information available through Facebook, including courses that you can do to learn what is and is not acceptable for Facebook ads. It's a little more muddy when it comes to just your standard posting and content that can and can't be used. I mean, there are some clear things that you can't do that violate the terms of service for almost every social network out there, things with violence and inappropriate things that you shouldn't put out there. But beyond that, it's not completely clear.
No, it's definitely not clear. And the only thing is that you find out after you've done something wrong, and you're not even told what you've done wrong. The dare did. She actually tracked back on the post that disappeared, found out they'd all been shared by LiveLeap, and I went into the LiveLeap forum today and was going to ask the question of, has anybody else had a similar problem since the Facebook changes? And there was only one post so far this year. So it's very difficult when you walk into what is a ghost town to get an answer.
You probably would be better off doing a search on Facebook to see if anybody's talking about it in the groups or, just on Facebook in general, because a lot of people who use LiveLeap will not use those forums.
Well, we know that about BLive as well, don't we? Because there are over 10,000 BLive users possibly. So we're not calling out LiveLeap, we're calling out automation. But if anybody from LiveLeap does see this, we would love to have the comments, and if you're amenable, to have you on a future show to actually talk about it, because at the moment we've switched it off. I share before the show, Tina shares as we start the show, so we're getting the same amount of sharing. We're getting quite swish at it, really. Nobody really notices now. So you can do it, and it was worth $20 a month, but
it's confusing because things like BLive and LiveLeap and other services that platforms that we use to go live to Facebook or to share, generally they have themselves as a company, they have to apply and jump through hoops to be able to use the API for Facebook.
That's right, yeah.
So you would assume if they're going through the proper channels that what they're doing is acceptable to Facebook. So that makes it even more confusing. And if you're using LiveLeap and you've had videos disappear and you're experiencing these problems, we'd love to hear from you, even if it's just me too in the comments.
Yeah.
And if you're not using LiveLeap and you're experiencing the same problem, we want to know, because we don't want to attach it to LiveLeap if it's not a LiveLeap issue.
No, we're just using LiveLeap as an example we know of, and we'd like to hear. Now, this is fortuitous because Mr. John Upton, has said, how about repurpose.io? So now is the time, John. Thank you for that. That's timely, because Tina and I are going to get together with Annie Moora, and you will see the repurposing show come back.
120 rounds from that.
Very soon.
Very soon. We're just waiting to hear from Annie. So the repurposing show will be back, and probably in this slot. We need to talk to Annie and get it sorted out. As far as repurpose.io is concerned, it only takes information from Facebook. It doesn't post anything. Now, it does post to Facebook, doesn't it? I mean, we use it to go from Facebook to YouTube, Facebook to SoundCloud, and Facebook to another site as well. But you can bring a video created on repurpose.io back to Facebook. So we best ask Annie about that one. Yeah, that's a good point, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But repurposing will be back very soon, very, very soon.
So that's, cuts our work out for us because, we have lots of ideas for repurposing, but we may have to rethink some of those if the new Facebook tweaks are going to interfere with automation.
But we don't know what's going to happen. It's very, very difficult. We can only do our best. And if anybody does get in Facebook jail, then you will have our support. And we can't change the terms. You can't come out of jail until Facebook says, but we can help you.
We can start a free her campaign, or him.
Indeed. Okay. Now, we're delighted today to be joined by Maria. And Maria, I'm going to bring you on screen now. And
hi.
Get the screens lined up. Hello.
Hello. Oh my God, it's so great to be here.
Awesome to be on the same screen with you.
Yeah, I know. Finally, right?
Well, the thing is, we've all watched each other's shows, but we've never been on each other. This is just ideal situation.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agreed to come on.
And I had to say, BLIFbot rocks behind me. I don't know if you can read on the whiteboard. It's a bit cloudy. Oh, cool, because it's a bit snowy and cloudy in Canada. And I was one of the first, I think, to take your BLIFbot course in Udemy and start using BLIFbot as an early adapter to it. So it's awesome. Yeah.
I love what you're doing with it.
Thanks. Yep. And I'm going to have to keep looking over here because my screen's here and my camera's there. So
it's okay. We understand.
Look at the camera. We're still learning that. We get it right most of the time, but occasionally we sort of glance off. It's only the purists that you expect to be sat here 100% with a quality broadcast looking at the camera all the time.
Yeah, I might readjust it. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about live is as you've discovered over the months, it's real, isn't it? I mean,
yes. You're
gonna get problems.
Oh my! Do you remember all the tech challenges I had that first month? Holy cow!
You got through them though, and now you're constantly you're live. Probably you and Stephen are probably live more than anybody I know. So I always see your stuff pop up, but you provide such great value.
Oh, thank you.
Podcast. So
yeah,
people need to go follow Maria. She'll teach you a lot about Facebook ads, which are probably the best investment that you can make for your business when it comes to advertising.
Right. Well, Tina, especially now, right, with the changes that organic reach is dead, so to say. Zuckerberg just wants our money, and businesses have to pay to get the traffic now. That's point blank. Yeah.
It is. Now, could you tell us, because this is the first time on the show, the floor is yours. Could you tell us about where you're based and what your shows are about? Sure.
Based in Canada, and in a little town called Chatham. So it's real little, less population, less than 100,000. But I've traveled the world and worked a lot in the United States as well. But I chose to come back to Canada. I'm born and raised here, and my family is here. My parents are here. They're getting older. Wanted to be close to them. My show is, we've got a few shows. One is the Create with Purpose show, and on that fan page, we have over 10,000 fans. And that's more about building a business with purpose. Because, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure both of you have been around the block. After a while, you realize making money isn't what it's really all about, right? It's all about connection and connecting. And so that's why that brand was created. And then on my Maria Gadalis official fan page, that's more about Facebook ads, like as Tina was saying. And I really just dove deep in Facebook ads since, I think 2012 is when I first started using it, taking people to a webinar and selling coaching products. And then over the last 3 years, kind of used it for digital products, coaching, and e-commerce. But as you might see, big on video ads, right? Because the cost, imagine if you have, I don't have it, okay. It's not Starbucks, but in Canada, we have this thing called Tim Hortons. Do you see that?
Product placement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get a sponsorship fee for that?
No, I'm teasing. We don't get it in the UK.
Yeah. So for the analogy here is that imagine if this was Starbucks or Tim Hortons. If you're standing on the street and you're looking at two exact coffee shops, two exact same thing, whether it be Tim Hortons or Starbucks, and at that store, the exact same coffee is $3. And over here on this store, the cup of coffee is like 30 cents. It's same cup of coffee. Which one would you guys choose?
30 cents. 30 cents, of course.
Yeah,
30 cents.
Yeah, 30 cents, same cup of coffee. Okay. Well, the same thing applies to Facebook when you're advertising, because a lot of people are using, trying to get the click and doing an image ad. And often you could be paying 10 times more for that click, which is, the same kind of tribe you're building as a video view. If you do a Facebook video, you could be paying 1/10 the price to Facebook for using the video for a video view, like as little as a penny a click or 5 cents a click. And do either of you boost your Facebook lives or put an ad to them and see how much your video views cost is?
I've only ever done it once.
Okay.
I was pleased with the result, but I didn't sell anything. But that's why we're glad that you're here today.
Sure. Oh, cool. So it's and so when you do that and you build your tribe that way by getting video views for, the 30-cent cup, not the $3 cup, you can do a lot more with your return on investment on your traffic now, because you're building that tribe, which Facebook wants us to do now, right? Build that community. And now you can build your custom audience, which was, I took some notes on your poll you did, which was really good about what do you do after the show. And I have two things that I couldn't see on the survey, so I wanted to add value to that. But what you want to do is when you create video views audience, so every person that watched your videos, even your Facebook Lives, you can create a video views audience, people who watched 50% of it, 3 seconds of it, 10 seconds of it, and 75% more. Then when you retarget to that tribe your ad to the people that watch your video, it's sort of taking them down the funnel now because they've seen, your BLIFe show. And now if you target them with an ad, it's proven marketing statistics or classic marketing. The more times you touch someone, that then you can turn that into a sale. So that's essentially kind of my big bandwagon for the last few years. I noticed it, I think, Stephen and Tina, in 2015, I started using video, and one of my clients, two college kids that were broke, they were going out offering to shovel snow to make money to buy beer for the weekend. Okay. And one of them happens to be my nephew. So I was there visiting one time, and I'm like, well, do you know about this Facebook thing and e-commerce and Shopify store? And so by using video, just showing their product, actually, I don't have it on me right now, but it was a simple protein shaker bottle. By showing a 15-second video of that got their store within 6 months to $10,000 a day, and they're two kids. Like, I have to say they did better than me on my own stores. But that just shows the power of that. And I guess to answer your question about, what also are my Facebook shows about, I am going to start interviewing people as well, because I like to get motivated by other people's success stories and how they're doing in their business, because our platform is the reason why the topic today is what do you do after the show, and the whole thing about LiveLeap, because I've used to use LiveLeap in the past as well. It used to be great for syndicating your Facebook live shows. Our platform's always changing. Technology is changing so fast. And so now, besides video, I'm really big on Facebook Messenger, and chatbots. And you're going to see a lot more about that from me. And the beautiful thing about that is Facebook ads are getting more expensive. So that's kind of the inconvenient truth about Facebook ads. But Zuckerberg's way behind Facebook, not way behind, but he's fully behind, all in on Facebook Messenger as the new platform. So there's inventory there for your ads. So they're going to reward you as they reward you for using video, because they want to beat out YouTube and Google, right? They're going to reward you with cheaper costs per lead. So, we're going to be doing actually a free Messenger bot challenge next week, actually. And if you want me to give out the link to get on early bird list, I will. It's free, but I don't want to actually spam you guys with links unless you say it's okay.
Yes, please put it in the comments.
Okay, I'll put it in the comments, and then see, I already prepared that. It's already.
Just go full screen, then people can copy it down.
Yeah. So marialikes.com/earlybird, and you'll see a messenger bot in action, because there's a lot of confusion about it, Stephen and Tina, but for you, like how you send out little reminders, notifications of a Facebook Live show, it shows you how powerful that is, right? To get more people to watch your show.
Yeah, you know, Maria, before we switch over to the topic of the day, since you're talking ads, you mentioned that Facebook ads are getting more expensive. And that's a fact, and they're going to continue to climb. You know, we saw this same trend with Google AdWords back in the day, and you know, Google AdWords is still a good investment as well, but Facebook is better. What I can't get people to grasp is what Facebook is giving you with this ad platform, the data set that you're getting.
Yeah.
If you have ever worked in marketing or know anything about marketing, to have that much data at your fingertips and to have the ability to target so specifically is priceless. And so the investment that you put in Facebook, if you're using that data and you're targeting and retargeting, as Maria suggested, you cannot spend your advertising dollars better on any other ad platform at this time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know, it's interesting. You said you have you have the message there, but people aren't grabbing onto it, you know? So what is that trick? And I think maybe demonstrating through case studies. I know I try to my best to show that, and
I was going to say that one of the things I love about your show is you give real world examples, your case studies that show the results. You walk through what was done and then show the results afterward. And you're the only person I know that's showing that real case study kind of thing as transparently as you are. And so I really appreciate that too.
Well, thanks. Yeah. And because I know Messenger's bots are so confusing for people, and some people think they're spamming in a way, but there's a good way to use it. We'll actually be showing just today with my business partner, Kara Sharon. We actually said, okay, let's show what we're doing as a case study. So when we start our ads coming this Friday, we're going to showcase how to do it, because we were confused. Do we send someone to a landing page where they click the subscribe button to get into Messenger? Or do we send them, just do a straight on Facebook Messenger ad to get them to subscribe with one click? So the difference is 2 clicks versus 1 click. Like even this is 1 click. If someone actually were to go to this URL, marialikes.com/earlybird, and join. But I'm doing this also for you to see it live in action, that you automatically become a subscriber in the software tool I use, which is ManyChat, which is either free or $10 a month. And I've used since 2015 a variety of messenger platforms. But yeah, that's transparency, because that's kind of ballsy in a way, because it's like, I don't know if it's going to be fully successful, right? Like, because right now it's nebulous, right? You know, Tina and Stephen, whenever you launch a new funnel or a new kind of course or product or teaching, you have no idea. And I guess the best thing is that when you teach it, though, at the same time, other people will learn that, okay, I don't need to be that expert. Even if I'm a beginner, I can kind of follow this step by step.
There are no experts. When you are on the cutting edge and you're innovative, there are no experts. And so you have no choice but to either quietly learn behind the scenes and then go out and offer your service where you're doing this for people, or you be ballsy and say, look, we don't know what the heck we're doing, but we're going to figure it out together, and we're going to show you how to do it. And if this doesn't work, guess what she's going to do? She's going to tweak it and go back and figure it out. And those of us that follow along, you know, will still be ahead of the game, because you're teaching this so early out of the gate.
Exactly. And that's the key. It's so early, this marketing channel. I'm so excited. 2 statistics say it all. You know, my average open rate is about 82% on my Facebook Messenger when I send message out, and on my email. And I think I have a pretty good relationship with my email list, because I like to nurture them and give them lots of value rather than just sell, and, you know, be that kind of marketer. And on a good day, when I send an email out in my email autoresponder, and then I also send to the non-opens like the next day, average open rate still is about 28% to 29%. So you're talking open rates, you know, 82% average versus 29%. When you do have an offer and you're going to sell something, where you're going to sell more, right? Clearly in Messenger.
29% is a really high open rate for email.
Oh yeah.
Well, my trick is just to remember this is that, first of all, I send to the non-opens too. So that's the average of the 2 emails that go out over a 2-day period. Now I happen to use, I think I've used every single email autoresponder platform out there. Right now I'm using ConvertKit, for the value for what they charge and the functionality. So you have the ability to resend to non-opens the next day with a new subject line, of course, and a new first line. And also that's in kind of the digital products coaching marketplace. If we were talking e-commerce, one of my e-commerce stores that has over 20,000 customers, oh my goodness, that open rate's about 4.5%. Because it's harder to build a relationship with people who buy $20 to $40 products from you, right? So yeah.
I mean, it's early days, isn't it, for messenger bots? Like we are with live video, we're pioneering, and there is a novelty factor, plus the fact that people are used to actually replying on Messenger.
Yes. Actually, there's a statistic that I think is 53%, don't quote me, it could be 55, 53% of business owners said they'd rather communicate with, and consumers would rather communicate with a business via Facebook Messenger than via phone. So it's moving there. Like as Wayne Gretzky said, go where the puck is. The puck is going to the Facebook Messenger platform. I truly believe it is. It's not. Yes, there's Twitter, which is great, and there's all these other social media channels. LinkedIn is great too, but really, that's why I have 1.2 billion here. 1.2 billion people are on Facebook Messenger. Like that's just a huge statistic. Yeah.
If you have a business and you're not using Messenger, you're not paying attention to it, you're screwing up your customer service, because I promise you, your customers are there. Talking to you, and if you're taking 2 months to answer them, guess what? They went and bought their kayak somewhere else. Because you didn't answer their question that they asked you. I got a response to a message that I sent out last year, and I'm talking first part of last year. I got the response after Christmas, and I'm like, I don't even know what I asked at this point. I have to scroll back up and see what I needed from you.
That's funny. After Christmas,
my own problem.
Oops! I didn't see. I unplugged myself by accident when I sat back and laughed.
Okay, no worries. Whilst you probably. Hopefully Maria can still hear us, but welcome to Anne, who says Maria's marketing rocks and her message is awesome. Looking forward to her live on this topic. And
hi Anne.
Carlos is asking, when is your next live event? So as Tina said earlier, please post a link afterwards.
Okay, I'll do that.
Actually, put the link back up there and I'll type it in now.
Oh, thank you. All right. marialikes.com/earlybird. That's a redirect to the Facebook Messenger. You will be subscribed to the Facebook Messenger, and then you'll be notified of the exact day and time next week. So,
Get into the BLIFbot and phone.
Okay. Now,
thank you.
I've got a comment here from Alfredo, which I'll bring on screen, just to give some background. I've got a friend called Andreas Vida, who lives in Stuttgart, and he is a telesales trainer, and he still has a thriving business. So with that background, Alfredo's got the question, using Messenger instead of the phone. So is Messenger better than ringing people up?
Is Messenger, sorry, repeat that, Stephen?
Is using Messenger better than having a telesales operation?
I think a combination of both would be great, because if, Alfredo, I don't know your exact business, but if you obviously need to qualify the lead, right? And there's nothing worse, because this happened to me, where you spend a whole day on your calls, right? Maybe you're giving away a free strategy session call, a blueprinting call. If that person you're talking to isn't your ideal customer or your qualified lead, so you might be talking for 10 hours straight and not make one sale, because you had the wrong people on the phone. So with Facebook Messenger, you can qualify them. Like, actually, I'll give you a little tease. In next week's Facebook Messenger challenge, we'll be giving away this blueprint we created, where it's really like a survey. You could do a Facebook ad, and then they come into Messenger there, and then they, you could ask them questions, and then you could qualify them, and based on their answers, take them to a different section. And we created this, by the way, because there's so much confusion about this thing called chatbots, which really, oh my goodness, gives you a headache.
The sequence sequencing is confusing.
Yes.
When you get in and start mapping that out, because I'm working on a bot right now for the funeral industry.
Oh.
And so, sitting down and mapping that out, even though I've talked to people about it, I've taken a course, I've been inside and played around with the mechanisms, it's still, you really do have to kind of blueprint it out on a piece of paper or with sticky notes or something before you actually go in and build it, because otherwise you just get lost.
You do. And Tina, one tip might be for the funeral industry, and you're pretty savvy, so you're probably already doing this. If you can kind of get close enough to productize that service, then just stick with that niche and go after, other funeral businesses in other cities. That's going to save you a lot of time, because you're right. Like that first one for that customer, for that niche, you kind of got to sit with them too to understand them better. Like I have one client in the holistic. We're basically three niches we're in: real estate, e-commerce, and kind of a holistic doctors, naturopaths, people who own retail stores in that niche. They can tell me better, what their typical customer how they like to be conversed with as well, right? They don't want to talk to a robot. You can use artificial intelligence to a point, but what kind of language do they use? What kind of questions? And then a tip for you, going back to what I was going to say, because Karen and I are doing that right now in our mini chat. Create different sequences that you can attach people to based on their answers. And that way it's evergreen, those sequences, rather than just my mistake at the beginning is I would just create one sequence with everything. I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to re-enter all that for a new thing.
And that's the plan. And that's why I said you have to kind of map it out, because for me, I need, when they come into Messenger, I need them to kind of select where they are. So are they at need? Has someone just passed away and they need to make arrangements? Are they interested in pre-planning? Are they dealing with grief and they need to be, passed on to grief resources? So there's lots of different of those pathways for me to lead them on. So I absolutely want to do that in one time in evergreen.
Yeah.
And not have to build, 15 bots for 15 different things. And as far as Messenger, do people really prefer Messenger over phone? We get death calls through Messenger. People will actually notify the funeral home about a death through Messenger rather than calling.
There you go. Yeah, because it's 24/7. Yeah, and takes the emotion out of that phone call, because that's such a emotional customer that's going through such grief. So that would make sense. I mean, if I were that customer, I'd want to do a Facebook message to the funeral home over pick up the phone myself. Probably.
Indeed. Yeah. Now, just while we catch our breath, particularly Maria, because you've been going. And the conversation is fascinating. I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because 5 minutes ago, Carlos Godinez said he's got to go, and thanks for everything so far.
Sure.
But he's still here.
Oh. Yay! Hi, Carlos again. Stuttgart.
Has anyone got a course about how to use ManyChat effectively?
I'll be having that out next week.
Now might be a good time for Tina and I to say that we'll have one too.
Will you? Oh, awesome.
No, we're all in this together. I mean, there's no competition.
Absolutely.
We're all in this together.
Well, and it really boils down to, and we've said this many times working in this industry, because pretty much everybody that we're friends with here on Facebook, on BLIV in particular, are somehow involved in digital marketing. Almost all of us. Yeah. Whether it's coaching, which, you have to use digital marketing to get to reach your clients, or you're actually offering social media management services or whatever it is that you offer, some way or another, we're all kind of tied together and in some ways competing. There are 2 billion people on Facebook. There's plenty of customers for all of us. And what it really boils down to is that know, like, and trust factor. Who resonates with you? That's who you're going to take the course from, whether it's me or Maria or our friend RJ Redding, who we've had on the show before, who does some pretty cool bots. Molly Mahoney does bots. There's lots of people out there that are working on bots. And so my suggestion to you is check out the bots that are being used by the people who are offering the courses. Mm-hmm. And choose that person for your course, because there's lots of different ways to use a bot and lots of different tones. Some are more fun and lighthearted. Totally doesn't work for me in the funeral industry, but it might work for you with your industry. So, find that person that resonates with you, not only their tone and who they are and what they're offering, but does it work for your business? So I love some of the bots that I've seen that are just fun and lighthearted and they're full of gifts and crazy. Those are fun to me, but that does not work for my industry. So it doesn't matter if I like them, what works for your industry, and make your selection that way. But I think we're all really supportive of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Maria knows a lot more than I know about Facebook advertising. She started doing it a few years earlier than I did. And so I totally go and listen and learn what she has to offer.
Yeah. Well, we all listen and learn from each other. I mean, I've got a, if anybody could have a favorite bot, I've got one favorite bot, and it's called the accountability bot. And I can't, it's a 5-day bot, and it's a 5-day course which holds you accountable, because it asks you at the beginning of the day, what 3 things are you going to achieve during today? And then it checks up with you in the evening to make sure you've actually done them. And it's just a sense of humor and the graphics that are involved.
Nice.
And this is by RJ Redden, and it's just one of those things that she's got it just right. It's aimed at me and people like me. So, you know,
it's fun and engaging. And if you are that person, so if you are the person who's really super hyper organized, and which I guarantee you, Maria probably is. So BLIFbot would probably after a week get on your nerves, because you're like, dude, I already did this. I don't need you hollering at me, telling me to do it. Because I did it when I got up at 4:30 this morning. But if you're the person that needs that reminder, that needs that kind of, not somebody badgering you, but that lighthearted kind of fun thing, saying, oh yeah, by the way, what are those 3 things you're going to do today? It's perfect for you. Yeah. You know, I can see you doing, and I can only imagine what bots you've got. You talked a little bit about the one that you're going to do live to see how that performs. But one of your platforms is Business with a Purpose. And the bot lends itself wonderfully to that. And so I'm waiting to see what you do with that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, it took forever to figure out the technology, right? Because 2015, there was Trust Message, $97 a month. And when you start sending a lot of messages out on people who commented on your post, I was paying up to $300 a month. It was crazy. Yeah. And then Silicon Valley, funded ManyChat, Chat Fuel. So there's a little more robust stuff out there for far cheaper, because they want the user base. So, it was flip a coin between Chat Fuel and ManyChat. And there's a couple others that I respect as well. Entrepreneurs that started some software, but, I guess for someone starting out, I just don't want to go tell them to go pay, a lot of money, like start with free or $10 a month. Chat Fuel's free too, if I recall, right?
It
is. Yeah.
But it is more complicated.
Yes.
If you're not tech savvy, you want to start with ManyChat and work your way over to Chat Fuel, because Chat Fuel is a little more robust in terms of what you can accomplish, but it's going to take some learning to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
And go ahead.
Sorry. Just 2 bits from Peter. I don't want Peter said, we were talking about Messenger earlier, and I don't want Peter to tell the full story, but he made £200 lying in the bath because he answered a message on Messenger.
Right. Yay! Ka-ching, a ring-a-ding.
And Peter's saying he needs a bot to actually make the customers call him. I think we're on our way there, but it's not there. It's not there yet.
But I don't know, not to steal anybody's Messenger bot money here from building bots out, but built into Facebook, you can actually go into Facebook Messenger, and there are some sequences that you can set up. So if you're looking for something as simple as saying, thank you for contacting us, please call 1-800, I'm in the bathtub. You can totally do that without a chat bot. You don't need a chat bot to set that up.
Yeah. And just yesterday for a client, we were creating, because she has an event coming up, a do-it-yourself aromatherapy blending thing. And just on a Facebook post, you can choose the call feature, like they can have a call button, and it'll be the number that's on your Facebook business page that they just click and call. So the mobile user, which we all know most people are on mobile when they go to Facebook, that's so convenient for them just to click that button. So besides an ad, like just use the real estate you have on your Facebook page for some stuff. And unfortunately, I tried to boost the post to make it an ad, but it didn't allow that functionality. I was so excited thinking Facebook had added new functionality for that call.
It gets a little confusing in Facebook and we need to go because we're over the halfway mark. So I'll let us get back to the agenda.
No, you're okay.
We're doing good. So Maria, And I want you to answer this because I'm pretty sure, but you've been doing this longer. What's the difference between boosting a video post, and doing a video ad?
Okay, well, boosting a post is the same as a video ad if the post happens to be video, but you have 1/10 of the features. When you click that boost post functionality on your Facebook page, it's really for the beginner or someone who's scared of the Facebook ads or Power Editor graphical user interface, right? So when they click boost post, you're limited to, you can select an audience, but you're limited to some things that you can do. It's still a page post engagement post, typically. So I always recommend, like, boosting posts is cool, but I always recommend going into your Facebook Ads Manager, which everyone should go first and go to business.facebook.com to create their free, business Facebook ads account, because Facebook wants you to do that. A couple of years ago when they first launched it out, if people still use their personal ad account, they got their Facebook pages shut down. So we don't want that for you, and it's free. So within business.facebook.com, now you have so many other objectives for your video. You can do video views. You can do page post engagement if you maybe have a comment feature below, which I know there's a little controversy on that right now. Facebook's algorithm change. But you have much more ability to select your audience, which I like. So you just, the boost a post is the kindergarten to Facebook ads, because it's better than nothing and not doing any paid traffic, right? And then going into Facebook Ads Manager to then create, say, a video views objective for your video, is going into grade 8, right? And then retargeting is grade 12. And then university, well, you have, Messenger chatbot, because we all are preaching that, right? I just made that up anyway.
No, we'll take that. That was good. That was good. Indeed. And just a comment from Carlos, and he's still here, so we should really take this. And it's a question. Can you program a phone to go into ManyChat? I'm sorry, I'm confused. So
he wants to know if you can click to call. In Facebook Messenger, if you set up the number for them to call, can it be click to call? It definitely will not be on desktop or it would have to be on mobile for it to be click to call, obviously. But the honest answer for me is I don't know. I've not tried to set up a click to call in Facebook. In Messenger. You would think that with Facebook's focus on mobile that you would be able to, but I haven't done it. So I can't say.
I'd have to test it too, because obviously you could do a quiz to them to qualify the lead for, even if this is for Carlos as well. And if they push the button call, then you may have to just do a user input field and they input their number. I'd have to test if they could just click call and then boom, it's going to call you. I don't know. I suppose a way around it, if you really want a true click to call, we all know a web page or landing page could have that functionality. You could, if it says, would you like to call us? You could do that yes button, and that takes them right to the website or landing page that has the, click to call button. But again, I guess you're right. I'm with you, Tina. I'd have to test that. So,
Messenger, on the phone, if I'm talking to somebody on Messenger, if I'm talking to Maria on Messenger and I want to call her, if her phone number is connected to her profile, I can select either to message her, to do a Facebook kind of face-to-face live thing with her, to call her through Facebook, or to actually call her through her phone number if it's connected to her profile. So I wonder if that's not just part of it for the, you know what? I'm going to go to a business page and look.
This is live.
It is. And in fact, it's sort of the issue I'm dealing with the client yesterday I was dealing with is that they want the person to call in to buy the tickets to the event. And I actually was saying, well, do you want to maybe use an Eventbrite instead? Because I think then 24/7 you can sell the tickets. And
that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So, but that feature could be interesting. I guess we'd all have to test that out, the click to call. You could click to fill out an application, clearly go to, if you have Acuity as your calendar or whatever you're using to book an appointment, that's the other way around it. If you're a coaching person and want to, have an applicant do that, which is powerful in Messenger too, because again, you're qualifying the lead. So you're using it, whatever you'd normally use as a quiz survey functionality.
Yeah.
then transfer it to Messenger. And again, always ask feedback of your clients or even your people. Hey, how am I doing with this? Is this annoying you or not? Like it's like in 2015, when I started that one first e-commerce store, I called the first 100 customers personally, not to sell them something, but just to say, are you happy with the product? What would you like us to add? So it was such good customer information telling me how to increase sales in my own store because they told me what products they'd like to see me carry. So maybe that's the other option too. If you're really going all serious in this, you should not be scared to talk to your prospects and customers. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think going back just to messenger bots for a moment, you can know whether you're doing it right or not from the unsubscribes, can't you?
Yes, actually.
Instant feedback.
Yeah. And that's where, the kind of gentle sway back into BLive as a platform, why I'm not using Ecamm or some of the other platforms out there, with Facebook Messenger to continue to nurture the people on your list, no matter what industry you're in. If you just send them a notification or a broadcast message, hey, I'm doing a Facebook Live and, would you want to watch it? Yes or no? Or maybe later. I usually put in, here's a tip. I usually put a maybe later in the middle between yes and no because of that, fat finger syndrome. So, even I would do this. Sometimes some people click no by accident rather than yes. And you only learn from experience because some people say, oh, Maria, I hit no by accident. I'm so sorry. Like, it's so cute with the messages you get.
Let me back in. Tina.
Well, one of the things that RJ spoke to when she was on in terms of the messenger bots is she said that whenever she used, like, even if it was a yes or no option, if she would put an emoji next to the yes and the no, or if she put the emoji only next to the no or only next to the yes, people are more likely to click on a button that has an emoji with it.
Ah, cool.
And she did extensive testing to see if that held true, and so far it has. And so, we are visual people, so I guess it makes sense that would affect what you select.
Cool.
I don't see an option for click to call on my messenger for the business page that I'm on, even though if I go to their page, there's a click to call.
John has been doing some Sherlock Holmes work, and he's saying Messenger doesn't support click to call. The chat fuel solution is as described a few minutes ago, and he's given the link. So, and thanks from Carlos and a thanks from Peter for that. I mean, this is what I love about live video is that everybody who's watching us is rooting for us and helping. We're a team.
Yeah, we don't have to go search now. We know.
Crowdfunding solutions.
It's crowdfunding knowledge. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, at its best, because it's not just the three of us up on stage, as it were. It's everybody who's here and involved.
Yeah,
which is absolutely brilliant. Wow.
The question at the beginning, let me just put this up if this helps anyone. What you do after the show. I know it. I talked about create video views audience, but a lot of people don't know that they can edit that post after your Facebook Live show. Mm-hmm. And it's really important to add your title tag because people search in Facebook. Like that's really a popular search engine tool, Facebook. People will search. And so if you have the proper title, like maybe, how to create a messenger chatbot, could be your title. Then tags, I often, in my industry, obviously I'm going to use like social media examiner as a tag, social marketing. So make sure you tag it and then change your thumbnail if you don't like, you could have a kind of face.
and going back to tags, now you can create your own tags. Before, Facebook had a limited tag. So if you typed in social media, you would get the social media examiner and social media, whatever, and it's tags that Facebook had accepted as tags. And that's what you had to select from. And the funeral industry, you can imagine there were no tags.
Yeah.
There was funeral director and that's it. But now you can create your own tags. And so if you want to put, messenger bot, chat fuel, whatever, you can put those in now if they don't exist or make up your own thing. If you have, for example, if you're using a hashtag for people to follow you, then you can also include that as one of your tags. So
that's actually really cool.
I love that they've given you ability to add tags now, because it's really frustrating for me in my industry. There was just nothing to tag.
Yeah, that is interesting in that industry. Yeah.
Facebook do some good things occasionally.
And they don't tell us about it. We just discovered it. Nobody told us it was there.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Carlos. I love your graphics. I see that. Cool. The funeral industry, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there because I just had it come down to me, and I'm just going to throw it out there for you, Tina, if this is of any help.
I love it.
It could be a potential ad. And I say this because I went through this over Christmas because, my parents are getting older. They're both in their 80s, and my dad has heart issues. So that's tough conversations to have about how do they want their funeral to be like, right? But it's good to have because it's good preparation. So reduces stress, later on. But one of the interesting things that my mom pointed out, she was really adamant about, was what song she wanted sung at her funeral. So maybe an ad could be, because this would be shock value for sure, would be, what song would you like sung at your funeral? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the imagery would be, but then it could go into a long form, maybe ad copy where you say, a lot of people don't think of these things, as whether it be for yourself or your loved ones. And, you could just say, maybe you should think about what song you want to sing. Do you know what I'm saying? You're just starting to converse Absolutely. With them. Yeah,
for sure. And, anything that gets the conversation started is wonderful. There's a trend, and you and Stephen may actually know more about this than I do, because the trend is only in the last year or two made it over to the US, and that's death cafes. Are you guys familiar with the term?
No, death cafes. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's like a book club sort of, where you agree that you will meet usually at a cafe at a certain time. And it's just an open conversation about death and dying and grief. And there's no agenda. There's never an agenda. That's part of their mission, is that you do not come with an agenda. It's just open conversation. So it goes wherever whoever attends that day wants to take it. And it just gets people talking about, the inevitable. And when I got into this niche, it was by accident that I've been doing social media and websites for a long time, but not for the funeral industry. And so I kind of accidentally stumbled into this industry. But if I've learned anything about this industry, it's more about living than it is about death. Funerals are for the living. They're not for the person who's deceased. They probably really don't care. They probably had some idea of what they wanted, and either they imparted that to their loved ones or they didn't. But it's really about, tradition and honoring that person's life and giving people an opportunity to grieve together, because we are social people and we need that. So the funeral really is about the living. It's about life. And if you think about death and you talk about death, I think it really makes you live more intentionally. Rather than just ignoring it. So for me, I've really come to enjoy this industry and working in it. It's been enlightening.
That is interesting. Huh. And I saw, I think it was Carlos asking about the ad about, you mean during the funeral, and, just given what you said and about the industry, and it's about living. I think that the ad is more for just creating awareness, right? About the song. It's not, it's more just to get people to think, okay, what song would I want to my funeral? Because I assume, Tina, that the average customer lifetime value or the revenue stream for some of these funeral homes are for people who come and prepay for their burial spot or the, I forget what you call it, but the urn, and, I'm even uncomfortable talking about this. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but so that's what I mean is it's creating, the AIDA solution. It's creating awareness for people, because some people might, 20 years before they die, go and get it all done and prepaid at a funeral. So no one else has to worry about it.
Well, what we find is usually people that have prepaid, their families will prepay, because if you've experienced a funeral where something all of the arrangements have been made beforehand, and then you've experienced a funeral where there were no arrangements and no discussion had ever been had, the difference between the family stress level is immense. And so I think when people have seen the value of pre-planning and how much stress it takes off of the family, it really, resonates with them. And so they'll come in and do their pre-planning, and you know that you have the stress of paying for the funeral. Like, everybody knows that, and you expect that. So even if you go into it and you have that stress, that's one thing. I think what people don't think about is really that stress that weighs more heavily on your heart than the financial side of it is this what my mom really would have wanted?
Yeah.
And if you didn't have that conversation and you never had a conversation about death, then you don't know if you're honoring that person's wishes. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the heavier burden.
Which fits, which fits in with John's point. Do you want your children to fall out with each other when you die? If not, plan your funeral.
And you'll see that too. You'll see some really hard feelings over the way things are handled if there's not an agreement between the family members on how things should be handled, and you just mitigate that, get rid of it completely. If you put your wishes down on paper, you don't even have to prepay. If you just put something down on paper, then at least they have something to follow. And yes, it still falls on someone to pay for those services, but at least you have those wishes down. Yeah. And, talking about ads, and you talk about the shock value, one of my favorite ads that I've seen for the funeral industry, and this was way before I even got into this industry, was a billboard that said, "You always said you wouldn't be caught dead in that dress." Do they know that?
That's a great ad.
Yeah, it was great.
That's funny. Oh, man.
Yes, we actually have funeral homes. Gosh, I don't know how many states now. We have California. We have several in Ohio and Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, California, Alaska. I don't know. We have a lot.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And, you always hear people tell you to find your niche, and that's how your business will succeed. And I'm kind of that person that chases squirrels, and I'm all over the place. And so when this kind of fell into my lap and I got focused on this industry, it really has been the most successful thing I've done. So
that's awesome.
That's true.
Yeah.
Question from Carlos. Tina, do you have funeral homes in California, or are you within your umbrella?
Yeah, we do.
Right. Okay. Carlos, if you email or message a manual message sent to Tina afterwards, get more info. John John's saying a personal note. The arguments over hymns and coffins when my mum and dad died within weeks of each other was a terrible strain. And
So
Peter's
you
saying,
really never know where this conversation's going.
I know.
No.
It's good.
Peter's saying, I'm going to bring this on screen. I didn't want to plan mine in case I have to use it too early.
Yeah.
And he's saying that's probably part of the reason why people don't plan.
Yeah, really. I've heard that before, but talking about death doesn't cause death. It doesn't work that way. If it did, I wouldn't be here, because I talk about it all the time now. And just like Maria, I was really extremely uncomfortable in the beginning talking about it. Now I'm just not. You get used to it, and you realize that it has no bearing on, on how long your life is going to be. It really just makes you think more about how you're living life now, and are you really living the way that you want to, and are you creating that legacy that you want to leave behind? And so for me, it's all positive. I have nothing negative to say, about the industry in terms of how it makes me feel. Of course, there's always things in any industry that you work in that you wish were different, but as an entire industry, it's difficult to change. So you can only work on the people that you work with.
Understood. And Carlos is saying, leave information in the thread or message you privately, Tina?
Probably message me privately.
Okay. And he's saying thank you as well.
Well,
this is not unusual, Maria. We have an agenda. We've never stick to our agenda. This is a talk show, and we've been talking, and it's been brilliant.
Yeah, Maria sticks to her agenda, so she actually gets through it. On that note, Maria, are there things that so the topic today was supposed to be, what do you do after a live show?
Right.
So, we run over all the time, so that's nothing new either. So what do you do after a live show? You mentioned changing the title, putting your tags in.
Yeah.
One of the things that we always say is make sure that you're going back that same day, the next week. Pay attention to the comments and engage your audience. That's the whole point of doing the live. If you do a live and you have 5,000 people commenting and you don't ever respond to them, then what was your point?
Yeah. 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 Well, I was just adding to the list you already had on that survey, which listed them all really well. And a lot of them I don't even do because I love the idea of stripping the audio and turning it into a podcast. These are all these shoulds, right? But
that can be automated. That can be automated. It can be done automatically through repurpose.io. It even adds this cool little graphic that has the audio wave.
Yeah.
So
that
if
is
you've seen
cool.
those, that's being done automatically.
That's cool because we've used repurposed.io to bring it into to YouTube, sorry.
Right.
But I had to be mindful that a lot of my Facebook Lives, I encourage people to comment below, and then I have a chatbot triggered to give them a deliverable, a PDF or whatever. So, it doesn't work on YouTube. So I had all these comments on YouTube, so I turned that off. But that's cool that they can strip it to the audio, and then podcast. The bottom line is, James Franco said it best: is own your own race course, right? So meaning that Facebook is great. We're living and breathing it and loving it, right? And that's where the people are. So you go where the people are and market to them. But at the same time, you got to own your own assets, right? And so that's an asset you created, that video. So yeah, when you're stripping the audio or you're making a transcription, say through rev.com, I sometimes do that. Then, you could also put it on your blog, which is something I used a blog back in 2008, 2009, but I went away from it for the last probably 5 years, but I'm getting back into it because that's my domain, that's my asset. So I can start building that organic traffic in preparation of what's going to shift a year from now. Like, it's Messenger for 2018, but what is it for 2019? Like, we don't know.
Well, we know that audio and podcasting continues to grow in popularity. It's certainly a medium not to be ignored. And I there's so many things to do, and that's the problem. You can't do everything. I would love to be able to do a lot more than I'm doing now, but I have a business that keeps me pretty busy, and I don't have the time to do everything I want to do. Now, that part's automated for you, but you have to go in and take the time to set it up for it to be automated. There is that little investment of time, and I just haven't done it yet. But most of the lives that I do are here with Stephen, and he does everything for me. So I'm kind of spoiled. I don't have to do it. He automates it all through repurpose.io.
That's cool.
We're a team, and we've had a great team of people with us today. Maria, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great.
And it's over to Tina.
Well, just let us know when you get ready to interview people. Looking forward to that.
Oh, definitely. We'll have you on the Create with Purpose show for sure. And I'm excited about it. You should have the fellas on that you built the Shopify store for, because they were creating with purpose. Their purpose was to have beer money, and they got a lot of it now. They were. Actually, I had them on about 6 months ago on my Maria Goodell's fan page show, and I convinced him to create a small course about it. But what's interesting about it, and it's a good success story, he got so busy with one kind of whale of a client that he's now doesn't have time to do anything on Facebook for the crowd, so to say. And everyone goes through phases of their business, right? So he's all in because, he's really done well working with this one client for Facebook ads that increased their revenues, by 10. So but I will. And there's a kid I want to interview. He's a high school student that started a social media company from nothing, and he sold it in 18 months. He's still in high school. So in London, Ontario. So I plan to interview him as well, but definitely want you two to be interviewed, and intrigued about the niche that you're in now, and talk a bit more how because that's really awesome. Yeah.
I've got a contact for you, and I'll send you some information later, but he's a local kid here who is really interesting. I think he's 19. He's at university in New York now on a full scholarship. He had scholarship offers everywhere. Mm-hmm. He's a computer science guy. Yeah. He, at like 13, 14, already had a business where he was creating apps for transit systems in Georgia or Alabama, not Georgia, but he's just amazing. He grew up in, I think it's called a yurt. Like, he grew up with no electricity, no running water. He went to the cafe to get on the internet, taught himself coding. He's like this phenomenal, just amazing, brilliant young man. So I'll see if I can get him connected with you, because he'd be a great interview.
I'd love to. No, that'd be great, Tina. Yeah. Cool. Good.
Yeah, when you see those young people like that, you're just like...
Well, yeah, it's like, it's motivating, because if they can do it, I can do it. And yeah, it's Yeah.
It's like, what was I doing at 16?
Right.
Yeah. What were you doing to get that extra money for beer? No, I'm just kidding.
Dear.
Patricia.
Patricia's showing us. Hey, Patricia, if you catch the replay, you will have a ton of information.
Stephen, going back to the original topic, what you should do after the show. You have got to go back into this show, or one of us do, and timestamp it, because this has been very educational and very informative. But if someone were to pop in right now, we're talking teenagers and beer money. So like, what the heck was this all about? I'm not interested in this. They popped in, 15 minutes ago. I'm talking about the funeral industry. Go back a half an hour ago and we're on bots.
Yeah.
So, that's something else you can do. You can timestamp in Facebook just like you can on YouTube. For people that don't know that, you just put in the comments the time where something is happening, and Facebook automatically links it to that piece of the video. So it's a really simple thing to do, but the time-consuming part is going back and watching the video and finding the timestamp to put in. But you can.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to put any pressure on, but John, you generally go and watch the replay, don't you?
Ask him to do it. That's
I couldn't resist.
Free beer money for you.
I'll probably have to do it. But just to say, with that in mind, with the time stamping, it only works in the comment section. Now, okay, I say that now because who knows what Facebook has changed. A couple of months ago, it only worked in the comment section. It did not work in the description. So you can only do the time stamping in the comment section.
Okay. All good.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool.
It's gone quiet. We've got a quiet moment. So thank you,
Carlos.
Yeah.
Thank you. Indeed it is. And it's been a pleasure today, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Finally, you're right. Yeah. And I'm glad to just, be in your tribe, because I'm glad I found you guys. Like, what was it, 6 months, 12 months ago? I forget now. But yeah, and it was just so neat how I couldn't believe you're doing for free, showing people how to use BLive and doing those little calls with people and all that. And yeah, it's just the amount that you give to your community as well is just, put up there on something to anyone else who's starting to emulate, because that's a good model. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Stephen, we'll be back Thursday.
We will.
With 6 people on screen, right?
Indeed, we are on Webinar Jam, hosted by David Vaughan. We're back on Thursdays on the same page. There will be 6 of us on screen. It's usually pandemonium, organised though, but everybody gets a chance to talk and join in. And we enjoyed it last week, and we're looking forward to the same this week. So, from Wiltshire in England, goodbye for now. We'll see you later in the week. And from...
Well, I'm from Tennessee, and I'll see you Thursday. And you can find us on BLive and 5. And Maria, please tell everyone where they can find you.
Snowy Canada, Chatham, Ontario. You can just go to my page, Maria Gadalis fan page. So, yeah.
And check out the link in the comments for Maria's offer. She's got a free training coming up. Tell folks about that again real quick.
Yeah, well, thank you. So, if you go to marialikes.com/earlybird, that'll subscribe you automatically to a Facebook Messenger chatbot. And basically, it'll be me saying, hey, we're going to notify you when we go live next week, so that you will be first on that early bird notification list. It's absolutely free, and it's a 48-hour chatbot challenge. So, yeah. And
I signed up, so her limited spaces are even more limited. So you better get on it.
Oh, yeah. Straight after the show. To everybody who's watched, thank you. To everybody who's commented, thank you. And we will be back on Thursday and back next Tuesday. You can catch all 3 of us on live video throughout the week. Take care, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
And I'm going to click the buttons.